On February 1, 2021, the Myanmar military staged a coup and detained Aung San Suu Kyi again, sentenced 27 years in prison. Since then, the country and its people have been suffering from chaos and conflicts. In November 2020, Myanmar held its national general election. The National League for Democracy, NLD, led by Aung San Suu Kyi, won over 80% of the seats in parliament. However, the Myanmar military, known as the Tatmadaw, disputed the election results and threatened to abolish the constitution, leading to a coup. On February 1, 2021, just before the newly elected members were to be sworn in, the Myanmar military detained State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi. Around 400 elected members of parliament were also placed under house arrest. On the same day, the military seized control of the national television station and imposed a nationwide internet blackout and cut off communication lines, including phone services and social media platforms. The military declared a state of emergency for 1 year and invalidated the results of the November 2020 election. Furthermore, the military announced the removal of 24 ministers and deputies, replacing them with 11 new appointees. These all happened in one day, February 1, 2021. Then second day, military leader Min Aung Hlaing established the State Administration Council as the new power center. Protests erupted right away. The military responds to the protests with a heavy-handed security crackdown. On March 28, more than 100 protesters were killed during the crackdown in an anti-coup protest. In April, a group of ousted parliamentarians, most of them in exile, built a shadow national unity government (NUG) and has sought international recognition as Myanmar's legitimate government. Around the same time, Myanmar ethnic armed organizations EAOS started to attack against the military government. Resistance to the military government has intensified, as ethnic armed organizations have escalated the decades-long fight for greater autonomy in ethnic regions. Other opponents of the military government have formed militias known as People's Defense Forces (PDFs) initiated by Myanmar shadow government and waged sabotage campaigns against the Myanmar military. There are three main groups in this Myanmar's civil war. The first group are Myanmar military and its allies. This includes the Tatmadaw, the Myanmar Police, the Union Solidarity and Development Party, PUSIFT, Tatmadaw allied militias, and border guard forces. The second group are actors that openly oppose the military. Most are People's Defense Forces, operating across the country. The last group is ethnic armed organizations, which are armed actors openly associated with a particular ethnic group. Numerous EAOs have different levels of administrative control in minority-dominated regions. Currently, the conflicts in Myanmar involve clashes between the military and ethnic armed organizations, and between the Myanmar military and the shadow government. Based on the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, in January 2021, there were 24 battles in Myanmar. In February, after the coup, there were 38 battles. In April, it reached 190. By November 2023, battles within Myanmar exceeded 500. From the coup until January 2024, there were over 10,000 battles within Myanmar. Currently, Myanmar's civil war continues with intense fighting among those forces, and several peace talks didn't help to stop their fights. But in Myanmar, coups are not new, nor are the ethnic conflicts. Myanmar's population is made up of some 130 ethnic groups. The Burman, Bama, ethnic group makes up 68% of the population. Since 1948, Myanmar's ethnic minorities have been fighting for autonomy or full independence. A substantial portion of Myanmar's territory is controlled by ethnic political groups and their armed wings. Historically, the Myanmar military has not been able to sustain significant offensive operations against multiple fronts, nor has it been able to decisively defeat any of the major EAOs despite decades of fighting. Myanmar has been under some degree of military rule since 1962, when the military seized power from a civilian government. Through several coups and nationwide protests, military rule still persisted. But beginning in 2008, Myanmar's military government, then known as the State Peace and Development Council, SPDC, began a process to transform the government into what it called a disciplined democracy. Since then, Myanmar's democratization entered a new phase. In 2011, Aung San Suu Kyi was released after years' detention by military. However, despite these developments, the issues of democracy and ethnic conflict in Myanmar still remains and have started to go down. In 2011, Myanmar military transfers power to pro-military government. In 2015, the nationwide ceasefire agreement signed between the Myanmar central government and ethnic armed organizations. In 2015, same year, Aung San Suu Kyi leads the National League for Democracy to victory in parliamentary elections, taking power in 2016. In October 2016, the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army attacked 3 border police outposts in Rakhine State, Myanmar. The Rohingya are a Muslim minority with long-standing conflicts in the region. In August 2017, the Arakan Rohingya Salvation Army attacks 30 more police outposts. The government responds with a large-scale counterattack, declaring it an extremist terrorist organization. About 700,000 Rohingya flee to Bangladesh. In December 2019, Aung San Suu Kyi attended a hearing at the International Court of Justice, where she denied accusations of genocide against the Rohingya people. In October 2020, voting for Myanmar general election cancelled in 56 towns due to armed conflicts, affecting 1.5 million voters in ethnic minority regions. In November 2020, NLD led by Aung San Suu Kyi won the election. On February 1, 2021, Myanmar military staged coup. According to the World Bank, Myanmar's GDP declined by 13% between 2019 and 2022. According to the United Nations reports, 15.2 million people face severe or moderate food insecurity. Over 1.7 million people have been forced from their homes due to violence and insecurity. Myanmar has now become the world's largest opium producer, according to the UN Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, report in December 2023. The economic and political crisis following the 2021 coup, along with the widening conflict between the military and armed groups, continues to drive farmers towards opium production. Additionally, Myanmar has become a criminal hub for human trafficking and online scams. When we look at Myanmar's civil war today, we see a country wrestling with democracy and ethnic conflicts for a long time. Sometimes it makes progress, and other times it faces setbacks. With ethnic conflicts getting worse and democracy efforts failing, Myanmar is at risk of becoming a failed county in Asia. Myanmar's journey toward democracy is a big lesson for the world, from harsh military rule in the past, to hopeful dreams of a better future, only to end up in ongoing conflict. Democratization is not an easy and straight road. Also, with different considerations of human rights, democracy, and national interests, neighboring countries like China and India, as well as external powers like the United States and Russia, are all involved in this Myanmar conflict. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.